You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It's your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys. And today we are excited to do a guest interview with you guys. We have a power team that is going to be doing a little interview with us. We have none other than Garrett and Marlena here. They own G&M Outdoor Services. So, guys, welcome to the show. How are you guys doing today?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I'm really excited about getting Garrett on here and then also his sister, Marlena. They have a really jamming business right now over in the Minnesota area. And maybe you guys know them. Maybe you guys have watched some of their YouTube videos that have been popping up lately. I know Garrett's been on the YouTube a lot and crushing it there. So, guys, really quick, we're going to hear a little bit more from your guys' business startup story, how you guys run the company together, your working relationship. So can you guys give us the 1 minute highlight reel about how you guys got started in business?
Yeah, so we both were in the industry. We started really young in this industry, and we always loved the industry. We just couldn't quite find the environment that we wanted to be in locally. So we were young and dumb, and we figured we had nothing to lose. So we just went out. We had about $2,000 saved up, went out and didn't have a single job, and I quit the job that I had and just went out for looking around, found the first job, and then one thing led to another, and here we are, almost 4 years. This June will be 5 years.
Wow.
5 years. So we went from a team of just the two of us to a team of 35 here in the winter and 25 for this upcoming summer season.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, Marlena, what's your role in the company? Because you guys are brother and sister, right?
Yep.
Correct. Yep. Everybody thinks we're married. We are not married. We are brother and sister.
Yeah.
I run the office operations side of everything. So marketing, business development, HR, accounting, finance, all of the fun stuff behind the scenes. And then we just brought on a operations administrator that will handle all of our scheduling, billing, all of that stuff to get me out of all of the day-to-day and more focusing on the back end and the future of the company.
Wow, that's awesome. Well, we're really excited about having you guys on. I'm getting over a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a tickle here, guys, so work with me a little bit. My voice is a little raspy, but which is all great. So on a guest interview, we're going to hear a little bit more about these guys, which is the point of the show. So let's do this really quick. We're going to kick it over to today's show sponsors and show announcements, and then we're going to hear a little bit more from Garrett and Marlena.
Ballard Innovative Products is a full line of gear for the lawn and landscape professional. From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, aerators, mower blades, X-blades, aluminum baggers, cleaning products, snow removal tools, and so much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Be sure to check out the Ballard-Inc.com website to help dominate and elevate your business this season. With over 20 years selling accessories and 30 years in the business, they're sure they've got something you can't live without. Corey also said to tell you they appreciate the support and look forward to serving you this season, and to stay safe and keep grinding, friends. And oh yeah, don't forget to use Brian's 10 at checkout to save 10%.
All right, guys. Well, we are back, and we're going to hear a little bit more from Garrett on deck first. So, Garrett, can you kind of fill me in the timeline of the business startup story? So, how did you and your sister get started, working together and putting the small company that's now growing like crazy, 25 to 30 plus employees during the peak season? How did you guys get started doing what you guys are doing?
So, like I said, we did it for other companies, and I always loved the work. I love the equipment. I've always just had an obsession for excavators for whatever reason, kind of just from day one. So I always loved the equipment and the work. I just we couldn't find the exact environment we wanted to do it in, and we always just got along really well. We always knew that you got to have the field and the sales side, and as well as the back end. I mean, just like the front of the house isn't any good without the back. So I've kind of always been the front, and she's been the back. We knew that we needed both portions, so it kind of just like naturally came together. We just knew that we kind of needed each other to really build a business. So that's kind of why it was for us, at that time, it was a no-brainer. Like, I need you to do the paperwork and you need me to do the sales, so it'd be the perfect team.
Wow.
So we just, like I said, we just went out, and I had a lot of drive, a lot of ambition, just wanted it so bad. Was willing to do whatever it takes to get the first job and the next one. And then we never, our goal was kind of always we never wanted to be the biggest. We've always just tried to strive to be the best. in our area at least. So best customer service, work environment, quality of work. And we've kind of always just stuck to that. And to be honest, it's kind of just naturally grown and evolved to where it is now. We've just kept the same same basis of goals and priorities, and then just kept taking on. We never say no to our ideal job. We say no to a lot of work, but there's so much work in our area, and we're really focusing on boulder walls and excavating this year, and we just keep doing more and more of that.
All right, so Garrett, you're running like the operations, it sounds like, and doing a lot of the snow plowing, the excavation, everything you were just alluding to. So, Marlena, did you jump on board like right out of the gate, or did Garrett kind of get overwhelmed and said, "Hey, I need some help"? He's just stressing out like at the family dinner table one night, and you're like, "Hey, I can help with some bookkeeping," or what's the exciting story about how you got involved with the whole company?
Yeah, so we're both 50-50. We both been 50-50 from the start.
Cool.
I worked at a construction company the first 2 years, so I was running emails and running to the bathroom to return customer phone calls at my corporate job for about 18 months while we got started out, and it naturally has just grown from there. So we've been hand in hand basically the entire journey.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys like self describe or prescribe these roles for you guys, or did you just realize like what your guys' strengths were and you guys could fill in how you guys were working the business together?
Yeah, I'm very, like you had mentioned before we started, like, oh, you're not on Instagram very much. Like, I'm very behind the scenes. I like to be behind an email, working closely with our team internally, where Garrett's more out there. Like, he started out doing all of our sales, and now we have a sales guy that is on our team now. But Garrett's always been the one out there talking and getting in front of people, where I'm more of like getting the to-do list done type of person.
And growing up, I never really was like an extrovert. I was always an introvert. I always kind of kept to myself. But as soon as we started and I started going out looking for work, I basically realized right away that I basically had to learn, the skill to be able to talk to people, like just to, be able to do sales and be able to we do a lot of networking, like just to be able to approach people in like a, professional manner and be outgoing. So that's kind of just a skill that I had kind of like learned out of necessity starting out. And now I've been doing it, working on it for a while. So now I kind of enjoy it. I would say I've almost transitioned more to an extrovert where I kind of talk to everyone all the time, or whatever I'm doing.
Definitely.
Well, how did the social media play into everything? Because that's really where I found you guys on Instagram and YouTube. So I guess you are kind of like flipping the script, like you said, being a little bit more extroverted. But the videos, I watch all the videos on YouTube. You got some great equipment setups. So talk about that.
So I was at a landscape show a few years ago, and there's a couple of guys that had cameras, and I was like, man, that's a cool piece of equipment, and that's kind of cool. And I was like,
I believe that was GIE 2019, and Brian, I think we met you there. Like,
no way.
Back in 2019.
No way.
That was our second year of business.
That's actually pretty dope. I did I say, hey, was I friendly? Hopefully.
We have a picture. I think we had our whole team and everything with us, and I think that was
real quick hello. But it's basically just like I always had a passion for like the work we're doing and everything, and I only like making videos of things I'm excited about. I really enjoy it, so I just seen a lot. I'm like, man, all this stuff's really cool. I should just start sharing it here and there. And it was just like made a video here and there, and I've been doing that, kind of on and off for the last few years. I've been trying to do a little more consistent this winter when I have more time. But
yeah,
it's fun just to share experiences. Now I actually kind of enjoy it. I can get creative, and I can. With YouTube, I kind of just do, kind of just say it how I see it. So it's I enjoy that.
It's kind of funny how like introverts are doing YouTube. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the guys I know that create content, they're not extroverts, but they're introverts. But they're just talking to a camera, and almost anybody that's an introvert can like talk to the wall or talk to themselves, talk to the camera. So it is kind of funny. But like then everybody thinks you're this extrovert, and then they come to a trade show and they're like, man, he's quiet, and it's like I don't know. It just messes with what your traditional thinking would be. You know what I mean?
Yep, for sure. But yeah, I've definitely learned over the last few years to just now I've just kind of just made it a habit. I'm super outgoing. I'm always connecting with people wherever I'm going. Just like it's kind of just came about kind of just out of necessity more than anything.
Man, that's awesome. Well, let me ask you guys this. Talk about the work that you guys do. I want to maybe talk about the work you do, then maybe the equipment, and then how you guys grew a company to over 30, 35 people in, just 4 or 5 years. So talking about the scope of work you guys do, did you start off in mowing? Did you guys only do construction or excavating? What's your workflow right now look like?
So when we started originally, like most people, we took just about any job we could get in like the hardscape, landscape. We'd do a $300, trim shrubs job. Where now we've, as we've grown, we started to say no to a lot more just because, you know how it is. You have to. You can't please everyone.
Sure.
So like now, basically, like this year, what our main focus is boulder walls. We do boulder walls from foot high to 10, 12 feet tall with engineering.
Wow.
And then so our main focus is boulder walls, and then we're getting into more excavation, like digging foundations, doing utilities like sewer water hookups. So now our main focus is basically boulder walls, excavating, and then we'll do some new construction. We work for a few builders where you'll go in neighborhoods and we'll sod 6 to 8 yards at a time, do all the final grades, plant some trees, lay sod, black dirt. So that's good because it's consistent. It's kind of good, consistent income. And then like the more specialty stuff like boulder walls and excavating is where good profit margins, but it's more of like bigger jobs, spaced throughout. We didn't do any mowing starting out. What was it like 2020? Since we've always done plowing, we figured that we would start like a mowing division just to try to service people year round.
Sure.
We did it. We marketed a ton and everything. And by the time spring came, we had about 40 accounts. Did it for a few months. And then we were so busy with landscape projects and boulder walls and everything else where it just wasn't making sense for us. It wasn't a good fit. So we ended up subbing them all out to a guy who started his own company and basically gave him all the accounts. And then we just haven't really done it since. So Our strong point has always just been in like the construction side.
Wow. That's awesome. That is really, really cool. Let me ask you guys this, talking about the equipment. What's some of the fun stuff that you guys have now? I mean, a lot of us, when we listen to podcasts or watch YouTube videos, we're always looking at equipment, right? From trucks to mowers to excavators to skid steers. Everybody loves talking equipment. So along the way, you guys have, like you said, had the company evolve, and I'm sure the equipment has too. So what's some fun stuff? I don't know if this is more a question for Garrett, but I'm sure you guys can banter back and forth. But what's some of the cool equipment that you guys are rocking now, and what's some of the new additions that you guys have been adding?
So like new additions, start with that. We just in the last couple of weeks, we've actually bought a new Peterbilt tractor. It's it's a triaxle. It has an 18-speed transmission. It's a big rig. It's a full-size rig. We recently purchased a quad-axle dump truck for bringing more of our own trucking in-house instead of subbing that out to local contractors for a few reasons. And we also bought another smaller Peterbilt 384 tractor to pull equipment.
That's awesome.
we have quite a bit of stuff on order too that we're hoping to get this year that we're upgrading and adding. We're replacing a few machines and we're also adding several. But we have my favorite is probably our 145 with the grapple. It's just a super quick Bobcat 145. It's about a 17-ton excavator.
Yeah.
With a grapple. That's really fun. It's quick. It's powerful. It's really maneuverable. Zero swing. But we have just quite a bit of equipment. I think we have this year like 10, 11 skid loaders tracked, all but one tracked Bobcats. We got a Cat D3 dozer on the way. That's gonna be custom painted white. That'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's quite a bit of just of smaller and getting into larger heavy equipment.
Well, good for you guys. Let me ask you this. A lot of people that watch on YouTube, and I'm sure you get a little bit of this, they're like, hey, where do you get the money for all this, right? That's the number one question I'm going to get from almost everybody every time is, I buy a $60,000 truck and the world loses its mind. And I'm like, it's $600 a month payment and I put $20,000 down. Like it's not rocket surgery, right? And you guys know like the culture sometimes on YouTube, you buy one skid steer and people are going to say daddy's money. You buy 6 of them and then these tractor trailer trucks or whatnot, which are way out of my wheelhouse. I don't know too much about the bigger trucks like you guys have. So how are you guys running the business? How are you getting the financing, the money? Is it just growing as fast as cash as some people say? Are you guys swimming in $2 million in debt? No right or wrong answer. And you can share as much or as little as you want. You guys know that. But how are you guys doing all this? This is incredible growth.
Yeah. So our first year, we basically borrowed a skid steer from another contractor because nobody would give us a skid steer.
Sure.
We paid for it. We rented it basically from another contractor.
We were at the time I was only 17, so we weren't even able to legally rent anything. So I finagled the local guy who had one sitting around. We paid him I think like $1,000 a month to get our first one, and I got it through the first year, and then the second year finally able to finance one because we never had any. Like I said, we literally started with about $2,000, which the LLC alone was $500, and then we put the other $1,000 down payment on a truck. So
it's definitely not like
it's not for the faint of heart.
Right.
Not from the faint of heart, and it's not to start out, you can't buy a $60,000 skid steer in cash.
Right.
You know, in year two. So from there, we've, you know, to where we are now is buying 3 trucks in the last month and have a dozer on order and all that stuff. Our biggest relationship with our business banking is going with a local banker. We worked with a corporate, I'd say, bank that a lot of people would know of, and we had enough money in the bank for the loan amount, and they wouldn't give us the loan.
Oh yeah, I know how that goes. Yep.
And and so we have not worked with them on any business banking since then. They don't even talk to businesses until you've been in business for 5 years. So we went with a local bank. There's like 3 or 4 branches in our area, and they've been phenomenal. We've been loyal to them. They've been loyal to us for the last 3 years here. So building that relationship, building that strong payment history, buying a lot of smaller stuff in cash, but with what interest rates have been at, it's been, like you said, a $600 truck payment. Well, a truck that you buy in cash, you know, it costs you more than $600 a month to repair it. So
that's an older truck, yeah. So our thing with equipment is super easy to afford if it's always busy, if it's always working, doing profitable work. So like our skid loaders, like we don't hardly buy anything until we have the work for it. Like we buy one skid loader and it's going all day every day. It's doing, you know, $3,000 to $30,000 landscape projects one right after another.
Sure, it's
super easy to afford. And then you that one can't keep up, so you buy another one, and then that one's going 4 to 8 hours a day. So then you buy another one, and then that takes a little bit of the workload off the other ones. But before you know it, they're all going 6 to 8 hours a day.
Wow. So
that's kind of what we've done. Now we're at the point where we buy anything, pretty much anything under about 10 grand, we buy cash. Anything over, we'll put down payment, or we will even a smaller piece of equipment, like a smaller skid loader, we'll put, 10 grand down, put the rest on the line of credit, and then pay it off in the next month or two.
Yeah.
So we're about 50-50 with what we owe on and what we owe money on and what we own. So anything smaller we purchase, and anything bigger we'll finance. But you don't be afraid to negotiate with the bank. We have a good relationship. As we go, we get a better and better interest rate.
Yeah.
But the main thing is just keeping it busy. Don't buy something just to have it or to sit around, but buy something once you have the work and you can keep it busy profitably, then it's super easy to afford.
Yeah, I love what you guys said there about like the smaller banks or community banks or credit unions. Sometimes you can get better rates, better terms, and find somebody who's a small business banker that can like help you out. If you walk into the big national guys at Bank of America, Chase, they may not care. I mean, just to be honest.
They don't.
Yeah. And it reminds me of a story of Logan Manning with Earth Advocates over in Ohio, Columbus area. Really good dude. Him and his wife Bethany, they're friends of the show. He bought a Gel, I think it is, skid steer, all the attachments, a bunch of crap. It was like, price 75, 100 grand. And his business was like there on paper, but the credit history like wasn't there. And so, he was 25, 28 years old, whatever they are. And, but he built a relationship with a bank down the road that just, went on a limb and said, hey, like like it's there technically. So we're going to, extend you the line of credit. And his business has been booming ever since he got that piece of equipment. So he had to get over the hump, but sometimes you need to, use a credit union or a small town bank. That was literally my story with buying my first F-250, my newer truck, 5 years ago. Like the numbers were there on paper, and the guy's like, all right, well, we're basically there. Like we're gonna punch it through, but he's like, I'm putting my shirt out there. I'm like, okay, dude.
That was our first kid that we got. Kid that we got, and we got like 7% interest, and it was just something crazy. And
after trying for almost a year before we could get our first one, because no one wants to borrow 60 grand to a 17 and 21-year-old.
Wow, that's awesome. How did it feel when you guys got approved for the loan? And did you guys feel like, all right, we got to pay this thing off and make this thing happen, or what?
Oh, it was huge. Like the best day ever. Like we thought we were on top of the world. We got our first
skid steer.
Yeah, we were so excited. We had to work for it because the one that we were renting was going all day, every day, and couldn't keep up with that one. So as soon as we got that one, had it busy all the time, doing good profitable work. And as soon as we could, we bought another one and got down busy. So like I said, our equipment usage is incredible for the amount of equipment that we have. We have total 15 trucks now, 10 skid loaders, 4 excavators. Right now we have a couple more supposed to be showing soon, but that by about 7:30 a.m. our yard looks like we're out of business. Like everything's gone. There's nothing there. We use
I
would say our equipment usage day to day in summertime is probably 95%, 98%. So we only buy stuff that we're going to use.
That's awesome, man. Good for you guys. Well, let's talk about that for the last 5 or 10 minutes here. Where are you? Where are you guys finding the people for the work, like for your employees? Like, where are you guys being able to find 25, 30 people, friends, cousins, good labor pool? And then number two, where are you guys getting the majority of your work? Because, like you said, to keep that equipment moving, you guys are devouring work, obviously, too. So
we are. That's a great way to put it.
The conveyor belt doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? So
right. Yeah, we've built a massive machine that takes an incredible amount of work now to keep it going, keep all of it busy. With the employees, like I said, our goal has always been to have, like, the big reason we started this was to have a work environment like no other, or one that good, hardworking people want to be in, and that they can also make a good living.
Yeah.
So we just kind of, our goal has always been to create the work environment that everyone wants to be in. So we have a really good, positive, uplifting environment. We pay well. We pay really well. We do. We offer benefits now. We pay half of health insurance. We do reimburse for phone, dental. Like we basically offer what you can find anywhere else in our area.
Yeah.
So that's been really good. And then just having a good environment, treating other people how we want to be treated, and the team's just kind of grown naturally. We have a few other relatives that work with us, but a lot of people have came from referrals from other people that work with us, YouTube, Instagram, kind of
other vendors.
Yeah, and then vendors that work with, they kind of just come from all over. Since we started, we've had 110 employees total, and then right now we have 35 that are with us today. So
wow.
Some have moved away, some have went to a different industry, but we've got a pretty solid team working with us right now.
That's awesome, man. I'm really excited for you guys. I mean, like, I'm sincerely like everybody's biggest cheerleader. We're over here in Detroit, Michigan. We're like, it's a couple states away, several hundred miles away. I'm no competition to you guys by any means. And, but at the end of the day, I'm rooting for you guys. I'm like, this is awesome. Like, just seeing young people in the industry, young ladies in the industry. I saw that you tagged the women in construction. Like, I think there needs to be more of that. And you guys are just a great example of two young folks out there that have a dream, and you guys are not afraid to get dirty, right? And you guys are out there making it happen. Let me talk about this. We got the kind of like where you guys are at today. Where do you guys see the company going over the next? I'm going to take this one to Marlena. Where do you guys see the company going over the next couple years?
Yeah, it's been a talk, I think, over this last whole winter. We've been having kind of where we want to be and what we want to be doing, and we're focusing on what we want to be doing a lot better this year. And our plan, goal for 2022 is around $5 million in revenue, and our plan ideally would be around like 7 or 8 long term, to just sustain, keep our quality of work, keep our quality of customer service, keep our employees happy, keep our customers happy, around that like 6 to 8 million long term.
Cool. That's awesome. That's really, really cool. I was just hanging out with AJ and Alicia Brenzel with Brex Enterprises. Do you guys happen to know them or follow them on Instagram?
Yeah, I think that's one of the podcasts I listened to, that one with you, and then I think they may have done one with some other podcasts that I listened to. Yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with them.
They do like excavation work and oil and pipeline work over in Pennsylvania area, and they're like the coolest couple ever. And jamming business, 10 million and 40-50 employees at their peak season. But you guys kind of remind me of them, just out there making it happen. And a lot of people always ask me like, hey, what can I make my first year? What can I make 5 years into this? Like $100,000, $500,000, $1 million, and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, I can introduce you to a brother-sister couple now that are 24, 21 that are running a $5 million company. And they have 10 pieces of heavy pieces of equipment and iron on site all the time, and it's just really, really cool. I don't know, I just think it's really, really fun. I love watching you guys' videos on YouTube, with and on Instagram. You guys are popping up everywhere, which is always exciting. So let me just leave it up with you guys, open mic. Anything else you guys want to kind of talk about or touch base while we got you? But we appreciate you guys taking time to be on the show.
Yeah, and thanks for having us. Really appreciate it. I would just say anyone that, whether you're starting out or whether you haven't started or you're a little ways in, just focus on where you want to be and how to get there, and trying to get too distracted along the way. And it's good to try things out, but just set a goal and do whatever it takes to get there. I mean, there's like, to get to this point, it's a lot of hard work, like working, full days, Saturdays, Sunday afternoons. Like it's not for the faint of heart. And there's, as you grow, new level, new devil. So we overcame a lot of things that you really struggle going through and you might not really enjoy, but once you get through it, you're always so much stronger on the other side. And the next time you come to it, it's a lot easier, and you kind of get that figured out, and then you go a little farther, and then you come to another thing that's, equally difficult. So what we do is definitely not for the faint of heart. It's definitely not, every day isn't, sunshine and rainbows, but you get through it, and as long as you enjoy it, you never really get sick of it, and then not stressed out day to day, really.
Yeah. Amen. Well, I like that. Marlena, any final parting words?
I'm a gal of few words usually, but not much more that I could think of. I think the office side of things is just as important as the field side of things. I think a lot of younger companies that they fail that, and maybe not to any fault of their own, but that has to be just as important as the field side of everything, and as the equipment, and somebody has to pay the bills for the equipment and apply for the loan and sign off on the mortgage and all that fun stuff. So
that's awesome. Well, let me ask you one question I got. And this is just a personal question I have for you guys. What is your biggest tip so far working together as family? So if somebody wants to hire family, or some people are absolutely never hire family. Personally, I'm more of a never hire family kind of guy, because I've seen it work and I've seen it not work, and when it doesn't work, it gets ugly, right? Not so much ugly, maybe more awkward, like, because you still have to see those people at Christmas and New Year's and all this other mess, right? So what's your guys' biggest tip working together as family, or even brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I think with the two of us, we've been the highest of highs and the lowest of lows together. So it's something that June will be 5 years that we've been in business together, and I couldn't imagine it in any other way. So it's very,
for me, I think in our particular case, it works so well because we're so different. She's so good on the office side, sending emails, paying the bills, like just keeping track of everything on the backside, where that's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to, like, I know it has to be done, but like, I'm so the opposite, where I'm out in the field talking to random guy at Chipotle for lunch. I'm talking to the newest customer. I'm recruiting employees. Like, we're so opposite. That's why it fits. I think that's why we fit so good. I think with family, it would be, you just want to have your roles really clear of who's going to do what. And, just like, if you don't really get along super well before working together, then I probably wouldn't go work together. You know what I mean? I just think, like, define your roles really clearly ahead of time, have expectations clear, and just kind of ease into it slow. For us, it just works so good because we're such opposite, to where she does what I'm not great at and I do what she's not great at. So it just works out perfectly.
Amen. Well, you guys are awesome. I really, really enjoy getting to talk to you guys. Sorry, I'm not a little bit more lively over here. I'm getting over just a cough and a tickle. And so, by the way, shout out to my wife, who's giving me 3 glasses of water behind the scenes and behind the mute button. I'm like, I hit the mute button. I'm like, Liz, water, please. And because, man, I'm coughing like crazy. But you guys are awesome. I really, like I said, just big fans. I really enjoy getting to watch the content, mostly on YouTube. That's where I spend a lot of my time and focus. Where can people find you guys, by the way, if they want to follow you guys, go down the rabbit hole a little bit more, follow GM Outdoor Services? Where can they find you guys?
Yeah, we're at GM Outdoor Services on Instagram and Facebook. Our website, gmoutdoorservices.com. We're overhauling that. We'll have our new website out here in a couple of weeks. And then Garrett is just Garrett Williams or GNM on YouTube.
Awesome. Well, hey, super appreciate you guys taking time this afternoon to zip on the podcast for a quick half hour with us and share you guys' story. And we'll have to maybe get like a mid-season update, maybe catch up with you guys early spring, late spring, something like that, and see how things are going, maybe some of the new equipment's in, and see how you guys are rocking and rolling during summer. What do you guys think?
For sure.
Yeah, sounds great.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, hey, we'll appreciate you taking time to be on this episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. We really appreciate you guys joining in. And for all of you guys listening in as well, thanks for taking time to listen to this episode of the podcast. Hopefully you found it fun and exciting. I'm going to button it up right here before my voice takes a turn for the worst. So all things being said, appreciate you guys listening in, and we look forward to catching up with you guys here on the next one.
Looking to maximize your production in the field? Ballard Products has over 300 products that can help you get the most out of your efforts every day. Ballard Products. Whether you are looking to get a better cut, keep your gear on your machine, keep your expensive equipment clean and safe, or just get the most out of your machines, Ballard has you covered. Ballard Products. Make sure to use Brian's 10 to save 10% on our complete line of gear. Jump onto our easy-to-use updated website at ballard-inc.com to get your gear ordered today. Keep grinding. Stay safe. And have a great season. Ballard.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.